product on the market in recent times is VO, and we're with Gary Matthews, who's the sales rep in Ireland, and with Keane Jensen, who's head of sales in Denmark, who's over for the Kennedy Cup, first time in Ireland as well. Keane, but to you first, Gary, wonderful product, great coaching tool. Could you just explain what VO is about exactly?
Well, basically it's a stationary camera that allows teams to actually record their matches if a cameraman was actually involved in the operation. But there is no actual cameraman, it's just a tripod with a camera and taking in a complete footage of the whole pitch, and then allowing the coaches to see the match as if a cameraman actually did the recording for them.
Okay, and looking at the actual product itself, it's it's very compact, packs up very light, but there's a lot of technology in it.
That is for sure. Our office in Copenhagen, we have some very intelligent and clever people who can track and find this ball by itself. So they're sitting there all day, all night, and figured out new features to do this product. And
very portable. Looking at it here, the actual camera unit itself, and you can come with their Manfrotto tripods, which are simply, the best on the market. Gary, the response to the product so far this week?
It's been amazing this week. A lot of people getting to know the product and realising. Obviously, we have a number of clubs already using the product, DDSL being one of them, and using them as a benchmark. A lot of people are looking at them, and when they come back and say that the product is fabulous, we've got lots and lots of interest now this week.
Keane, it's ticking lots of boxes, but from a coach's perspective, a wonderful tool to have.
That is for sure. I'm a coach myself. I coach one of the best academies in Denmark, under 17, and to be able to show the kids what to do in specific situations and what not to do, it's definitely very, very worthwhile. That's for sure.
And Gary, so in terms of prices, what are we talking about? The complete package?
Well, you're looking at the camera is €1,200 plus VAT. The tripod, we've two different tripods. One is 4 meters and the other is 8 meters. So the tripod starts at €200 and then goes up to €400. And then we have an annual subscription which allows you to use the interactivity and the special software for tracking the ball within VO, which is a yearly subscription of €480.
And just explaining, so the matches are uploaded directly to VO and they send it back to you?
Yeah. So the recording happens, and as soon as the final whistle goes, we take down the camera, we hook it up to the internet. The films are dragged out of the unit and sent into VO, and within 24 hours the whole package is just completed. Then you get all the footage back.
Okay, Gary has mentioned some of the Irish leagues and clubs who are involved in it, but can you name check some of the bigger clubs in Europe who are using the VO system?
Yeah, for sure. For example, Leicester and Burnley in UK are using it. Feyenoord, Ajax just got their cameras. Of course, all the big team in Copenhagen, FC Copenhagen for that reason, are using it. So and even Juventus is actually having a camera in Italy. So a lot of big clubs, but we don't only want to be for the big clubs. We want to be for everybody. So of course it's nice to see that these big clubs are using it, but we want to use it for all the amateur clubs, all the minor teams. It's for everybody, that's for sure.
And Gary, just explain, it has this tracking ability, where you can pan to any part of the pitch, or indeed the camera can track the ball and its movements as well.
Yeah, well, how it happens, is that the two footages come in. We've basically got a camera looking straight down the middle of the pitch and then off to the two goals. So those two recordings are actually stitched together to give a full 180 degree. So that means that we actually have the whole pitch available to look at. So realistically now, we just stitch those together and we've got one image now of anywhere. So irrelevant to where the ball is, we can look at somewhere completely different. And that's the interactivity. That's where we can look to see how our shape is, see how our width is, because 9 times out of 10 the normal footage that you get will be just following the ball, but we want to probably see what's going on without the ball.
You mentioned, sort of getting width into it. You can superimpose grids that can actually show where the space is, as a coaching tool for coaches.
Yeah. Again, we like in talking to all the coaches here, the visual aspect of coaching now is absolutely massive. giving the kids, giving the boys and girls images where they can actually see what we're talking about. Because coaches have an awful tendency to talk, and they know what they're talking about, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the players are actually getting that same message. So when we give them a visual, it helps an awful lot. So what happens is we can actually superimpose water lines, kind of line marks showing width on the pitch. So a lot of players will say, oh, I am getting wide, but you say, when we put the lines on the pitch, you say, well, no, you're not really, because there's another 10 yards beyond that line to the sideline. So they say, okay. So they see the width then, and then the zonal one is basically we imprint squares onto the pitch, so it gives zonal, so we can see zonals in the centre and in the width. So we said we need people in these zones to be shaped, so our shape is good.
Cian, the technology, you know, it's state of the art, but are there future developments underway, or can we expect a second generation? What's happening?
Yeah. So again, back at the office in Copenhagen, we have these technical guys who is making a lot of new features. So in the future, there will be coming like some shoots on goals, for example, where we'll track and find all the possible chances during the matches. There's gonna be a heat map. There's gonna be where you can track and find where the teams has been during the day. And of course we have learned the system to track and find a football. So hopefully we will learn it one day to track and find one individual football player. And when we can do that, of course we can track out a lot of data on one specific player.
Well, Gary, you're very well known in soccer circles and indeed in GAA circles. But if anybody is looking to make contact with you, who do they contact? Email, mobile number?
An email address is Gary@bio.co. So Gary@bio.co, or the mobile number is 086 772 6929.
Well, that's VO, wonderful coaching tool on the market. Gentlemen, thanks very much for talking to Striker Online.
Thanks very much.